Here we are, another Friday Night Live. June 3rd, 2022. Can you hear me, Oliver? No? Let's get a sound check here. Sounds like the sound's good on this side. Can you hear me, Oliver?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. You're on sideways.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, charging it. Yeah.
What's happening?
Nothing much. What's going on by you? There's a lot of greenery. It's really good. The just walking around. It's just it's nice.
You're in the island?
Oh no, I came back to Jersey. There's a lot of stuff
You're back
going on with family, so I'm just came back and doing my best to help out.
Awesome.
Yeah, the changes, but it's good. It's awesome. It's really emotionally satisfying to just interact and help with family. But
yeah, family is very important. This is
yeah,
the roots of where we come from, right?
yeah, especially when you're fasting, you really feel the depth of that, and the people alive, of course, but also the ancestors. You start to feel deeper and deeper. It's like, whoa, it's a lot of just all the memories too. It's the saying, new friends are good, but old friends are better, kind of. But yeah, it's cool.
Very good. Hi, Barbara. So yeah, it's some of us have really strong ties with family, and other people not so strong. But there's always that bond that you can't get rid of.
Yeah.
For the roots we come from. But the biggest challenge we see around the world is because our family life at home, there's problems there,
Right.
And then it gets put out into the world. So if we can resolve our challenges, relationships with our family, we're going to have a much better world to live in. It's very, very basic philosophy, and all the prophets, taught about that. And if anybody is teaching anything in the spiritual sense of things, they would agree with that family stuff. It's so simple and so basic, but we're always looking outwards to fix problems when we have to go inwards and in our own homes. So first we start with ourselves, and we all have work to do, and we continue doing that, because what else is there to do? We're not missing out on anything.
Exactly.
there's nothing to miss out on. We're all going to go where we came from, back to the light one day.
Yeah.
So let's do our best in this realm, and serve others, and serve the divine first and foremost, and keep things flowing, keep that energy flowing. Let's get rid of the stagnation, which is where we start seeing challenges and problems in lives. So, this is how disease is born, through stagnation, through obstructions, through things getting stuck. Just think about a machine. If it's not well lubricated, it gets stuck.
Yeah.
And then what happens? It seizes up.
Right.
So the physical body works on basic similar principles. They need energy flowing, things that need to keep moving. So in an engine, you have the oil lubrication needs to be flowing and moving to keep things well lubed, so that engine will, it'll keep the metal of the friction cooler, because it'll be lubed, instead of getting overheated and coming to a stop. So in the physical body, we have that lymphatic system that needs to flow, because the blood system, that flows continuously. But that's not where uh, the problems start. Starts in the lymphatic. The blood is where we see it all, because it's the waste system, the sewer system, and we see all the crap into the bloodstream. But if we don't keep that lymphatic system moving, flowing, we're going to get ourselves in trouble. And we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. And sometimes we do want to go there.
Right. Yeah. The weird thing, the more you go back and forth, it's just the message louder and louder.
Yeah, it's we are creatures of habit, and we don't learn from our mistakes as a whole of humanity, because we keep doing the same things over and over. We keep destroying the planet and killing each other. So
yeah, unfortunately.
Hopefully we're in the time zone of that coming to a change, so we can be in a more peaceful planet.
Yeah,
for everybody. Hi, Marvin.
Yo, what's good, guys?
All's good.
Yeah, it's doing great. Yeah, just woke up, put a little fire there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like 3 in the morning here, and I have the little cat on my lap. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Fire's
great company.
Exactly.
Cat's good company.
Exactly. With the purring, giving that good plaf. It's lovely. And yeah, I was listening to you, man, talking about learning. Yeah, and we learn through contrast, that for sure. We go back and forth until we get it right. Yeah.
Or we don't, and we continue.
We don't. And yeah, keeping that lymph moving.
Is it cool over there, the weather?
Yeah, actually just a little bit. It's kind of around 20 degrees, 17, 20 degrees Celsius.
Compared to Mexico, it's cold.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I like a bit the freshness here, the cold. And yeah, the summer, right now the summer gets better and better because of the change over the years, like things warming up. Yeah, it used to be much colder, much less sun, much more rain, but now things are changing. So yeah, it's quite good. Getting that lymph moving, because I do food deliveries every day, so I like, I'm biking 6-7 hours every day, so it's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really awesome for this lifestyle, like
wow.
Really, like, biking, on an electrical bike, not even a regular one, because so just get the things moving all day long, get to talk with people.
You're still pedaling?
Yeah, pedaling, yeah. And you get that little assistance from the motor, right? And yeah, and then I do I just started now actually doing rock climbing, bouldering, sorry, with just a bit of functional exercise. So yeah, because over the years, like as we clean up, you can maintain a weight and maintain muscle and actually grow muscle. I've grown muscle on 31. Yeah, I think I did 30 days back in, that was back in November or December. And actually I gained weight during these 30 days. So that kind of felt cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And actually now it's much easier, man. If I start eating, I feel how I lose the the connection, the nervous connection specifically, like to do pull-ups and all that, feel more sluggish. So I'm right on that line, it's funny, like you lose the gains if you eat.
It's not what we're told.
Yeah, exactly. You lose, but you also, if you push, of course, the boundary with the dry fast, then it's give and take. And yeah, but in the end, we know what we want. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice some of that Well, I mean, you're not sacrificing anything in the end because you are much more powerful when you're dry, you know, like you lose that water weight and that connection that actually is strength, you know, that nervous connection is much more, yeah, apparent.
Mhm.
But yeah, how you doing? There's also Oliver, man. What's good,
Oh yeah,
Oliver? How you
Marvin.
doing?
I saw the interview from last week.
Oh,
So
awesome, man.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I saw your post as well. Like, you know,
Right.
you live in Hawaii now, right?
Oh well, that was it was short lived because lots changes when you're living a fasting lifestyle. So you know, it always comes back to yourself and the roots.
Right. And you be humble again, right? Because you get
Yeah.
humbled, you know, doing this. It's crazy, man.
Right.
How long were you there, Oliver?
I think just a touch over 2 months. It was a great experience. It was
Nice.
just incredible because I've never been out to islands or anywhere in the Pacific really that's out there, and it was just a totally different everything. It's awesome. The water, like pretty clear. You could see your feet through the, you know, in the ocean, even in the foamy area, you could see to the bottom. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Nice. I was just floating there sometimes all day, just swimming around, enjoying the crap out of it. So it was a good, you know, good experience. You know,
Very
taking care.
nice.
Yeah.
Nothing like the ocean, the sea.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You know, mountains are nice. The forest's nice. All nature's nice.
Yeah.
Haven't been to a desert. Well, actually, Arizona's like a desert. It's really hot in Arizona.
I've been there once, and the crayons were like melted in the car. You know, just it was nuts how hot it was. It's like
Yeah, it's hotter than the tropics. I thought, wow.
yeah, it's a different. The sun's hitting the earth a whole different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have all the different experiences we can enjoy for, you know, as long as we can still move around.
Mhm.
You know, we take advantage if we can. If we can't, we enjoy where we are. There's beauty in all nature. Doesn't matter where you are. Just go out in nature. It's all beautiful. You know, it's a bit more challenging when it's minus 35 Celsius. Go out in the cold, but there's still beauty in the cold. So what else is happening, boys and ladies? Lady?
Yeah. I mean, just bliss, right? Because I mean, I just see it in your face, Oliver. You know, like you've been here for a couple years, you know, in MFS group, and seeing with that smile, you know, and also like your face, you see, you know, what I love about this is that, you know, the humility that you gain, you have no other choice if you want to keep on going, and
Yeah.
you know, like everything comes out, and it wears on your face, Oliver, man. You look good. You look kind as well, man. You look very kind. You look very humble.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you look beautiful, man. No, but it's true because me too, you know, and especially right now, I've been doing the money chasing for a year because, you know, when I started this lifestyle, you know, I was actually quite focused, you know, on it, but not that focused because my debt, you know, my personal debt was just building itself, and I was forgetting about the finances until it hit, you know. My grandmother was sending us money, you know. Oh my God, for us to keep here in Europe. I don't know why, but now I understand why. She was just helping us without knowing until, you know, that money was almost gone. And that's where I realized that's when the pandemic hit, which was actually, I mean, for me, I feel it was a blessing because when you look at it spiritually, it forced a lot of people to face this stuff, you know, and stop running away, stop trying to party and all that, and be there at the home. A lot of breakups happen, lot of divorce, and yeah, me personally, I got to have it much harder in that aspect. I had to find a job which was, oh man, marketing, business to business calls. Oh my God, man. That made the lifestyle super hard, that humbled me. And then just trying to go back, because then I got to be self-employed through these food delivery things. So also now it's on me, having to find the time for myself, and doing the trading thing, money chasing and realizing, wow, how am I really greedy? I'm greedy, man. I'm lustful, I'm greedy. Thought I had that lust as well under control, Until then, of course, you meet a specific girl that kind of tests you. And the greed, the loss, and that was a blessing, because I realized, through that it was not on that specific aspect of my life, it was everything. And how I did everything was how I did anything was how I did everything. And also the thing of the consumption, how we, and now, just feeling, man, and what I need to do, how I need to feel if I want to fast, like make it effortless, right? How I can be writing on an effortless fast, like for days and days and days, by keeping a certain attitude, you just see the mind, because I mean, the levels are cool, but I've always tried to put myself in the long one and keep myself there, and just trying, never put a blind eye, because when you see like you might have read as well, Gino, like how there were lots of comments how Master Fast system is a cult, we have that cult mentality, but you realize it's true, and good thing, you need that mentality, man. You need to go heavy with the mind, man. The mind will find so many excuses that you really need to focus. You need to put all of your emotions there. Just like Brittany, I almost reminded of Brittany. She was crying a lot, whenever she couldn't do it. And that's actually how much emotions you need to put in. But you also need to have the acceptance.
Yeah.
Also need to have the acceptance. If you don't have what it takes, go build it. Go live with yourself. Maybe stop a few things, maybe dedicate some time to yourself to really feel your emotions, accept yourself where you are, what you need to do, and serve as well, because that's very important. That always helps. Are you serving? Are you giving back? That helps really staying on the lifestyle. When I'm giving back, when I feel like I'm serving, then I get to have much more God in my life. Just sharing a bit, guys. But life is amazing, honestly. Right now I got to dissolve so much in my life, like all the games, I was really addicted to games, also addicted to weed, over the years I got to let go of it bit by bit, because I first was, like by force.
Smoking?
But got to vape, even little amounts, like 0.2 grams, in the vaporizer. Had to really let it go bit by bit, because first I was able to stop suddenly, but then my brother would come and trigger, because I was very attached to him and we had like memories and all that. So we'd come back, stop, come back, until he arrived to come and live with us here, me and my mother and my brother. And that's where, man, it was very heavy, because I was very, very attached with my brother. We're very close.
Environments.
So many emotions, so much everything. So got to do things bit by bit, right? And just had to focus on the heart, man, and just have that patience and just focus on that intention. So actually make it effortless. And these couple weeks, man, it's just been amazing how the release, releasing my brother, like actually get to love him much more for what it is, instead of my mind trying to look at him for what I would like him to be. No.
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, dissolving a lot of things, games, even music, had to let go old music, and even maybe forcing it a little bit too much, like going a bit too far, but still, have to like showing that devotion to God. Come on, God, I'm breaking myself. Help me out in this. I have nothing left. I have nothing left. I don't want anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about the lots of people getting divorced. Yeah, there's record divorces happening everywhere from what I've
Yeah.
read and so on and so forth. And why is that? Well, because things are not kosher at home, right? As we were mentioning before. So because, prior to the lockdown, people were at work and then they spent
Exactly.
very little time together at home. And then when they had to spend all day, every day at home together, things were not, they found that things were not, kosher. And they easier to say fuck you, and and get divorced than work on your on the challenges. That's what these days. It's a throwaway society. Just
Right.
throw away and get a new one. In everything we do in our lives, it's a throwaway society. And look where we're going. It's not a good place.
Yeah, we need to face ourselves, because in the end, that's why we also have those habits, of consumption. It might be food, it might be TV, it might be anything. We have this habit of consumption, yeah, to run away, and when you really want to look, and be kind of sudden as well, and very, and stop everything, you will realize. I mean, that's what I did for myself. I realized I'm like, I'm a shit of a person, man. Fuck. And yeah, so many things that had to come out. I didn't know how to process them, like a lot of stuff that my father put onto me, my parents, man, I can't express them as well, especially on my dog. I had an elder dog, a lot of bad emotions I threw onto him, man. I didn't know how to manage that. That humbled me so hard, man. That humbled me so hard. He was an angel. Like, you see as well how animals, how nature is there for us, literally, and we take advantage of it in this act of growing ourselves, because, we externalize everything, because we learn by contrast as well. We need to externalize to really look at it from another perspective, and then we internalize it, and then we learn, if we want to, of course. But
It's
yeah,
always the thing, is do we want to learn?
I used to also want to kind of break up with my mother, leave her, and then I realized, hell no, I need to serve her. She served me so good. I need to go beyond this little ego thing, how to be really in love, being freedom in our space, tolerate each other. And now I'm just in the flow. Like, now I'm just staying with her until she finds certain good space in herself as well, like financially, but specifically, like spiritually. I'm kind of there for her, like, cooking for her a lot, serving her. um Tomorrow, in a couple hours, we're gonna go do the shopping, be there for her. Always remind her as well what she wants, because she's really with that mentality sometimes. Oh, I need to please my little kid inside, but you don't know what your little kid inside wants. That's a lot of times, it's her mind. She tries to eat a lot of pasta and a lot of things, and which is good. Like, I don't judge her, but I'm always there reminding what you want. Maybe you want to prepare something good, so I prepare some stuff for her. She loves curries, Arabian food, hummus. And so yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. We get to serve each other. And I get to give back, because when you just sit in that heart, just in the gratitude of things, you cannot have any remorse, or like yeah, be mad because she was not the mother that she could have been or whatever. No, I'm just grateful for all the energy she gave to me, and
Awesome.
yeah, and her presence, and yeah, and have other people like you, Gino, also inspiring, you know. Yeah,
We all
we're here for
inspire
each
each
other.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
this is uh, this is how we keep going. It's when you're doing it by yourself. It's as when I started many years ago, because there was no internet or anything. It was just go on and do it. It's a whole different uh, experience, that's for sure, than when you have like-minded people doing it with you. Support systems, it's much easier for people to be with a support system. Um, that's why we do what we do, because the support system is very important. And when people, share their stories and you're inspiring other people, you never know who can say, a few words to trigger somebody to say, wow, okay,
Right.
let's do it. You know what I mean? It's, and over the decades of being involved in, this health kick lifestyle, watched a lot of people um, just give up and go, just 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 give up on life.
Right.
It's and then the ones who chose to make some changes and make it happen, they're still around, and those are very few. Most people give up, or they put the responsibility to somebody else to take care of them, right?
Yeah.
And what happens when you do that? You lose. Because
Yeah, you lose the opportunity.
we can't,
Exactly.
nobody can do it for anybody else. If it is to be, it's up to me. Yeah, there's this whole experience that we don't know why, certain people came here for whatever reason and whatever experience they need to go through. But it's tough, it's tough. Watching people go through that, not making decisions that you would hope that they would make. But we have to sit back and allow, things to take place without judgment. And, um, hopefully we can inspire people to make better choices so they can not be in that, pain, misery, and suffering situation. Because it's not a
Right.
good place to be. I've been there, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Being bedridden
Yeah.
in pain, and it's not fun. It's just, days look like weeks, and time doesn't go by because you're in pain. It's not a good place to be. So there's a way out for anybody who's listening. There is
Right.
a way out. Don't let anybody else tell you anything else, because there is a way out. And the MFS roadmap lifestyle is a very powerful way for anybody who wants to actually choose to do it. Not try it, just do it.
Yeah.
Notice
Just do it.
trying things out, leads to failure. Just try it out. Yeah.
But it's good. It's good as well. Huh? If you don't want to
Yeah.
do it, you just want to try it out. Just try as well.
It's whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people are triers.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, maybe still am. Had to build that discipline in me that was not taught, but it's good, as you said, the pain makes us humble. Just a few weeks ago, I had to go through big pain for a wisdom tooth. My 4 wisdom teeth, they came out with cavities, and 5 years ago they came out. And I got to know MFS, so being on the map and being on the road of healing and destroying as well, because coming back, and I also got to feel that you can fast and be on a road to healing, but you also can be in a space doing the master fast. If you're not careful, your body gets to be much more sensitive, and there is a process as well of going back slowly to things. And January, like this January of this year, was where I touched on greed very hard for like 2 months, man. And I was fasting quite good, you know, deep, and I surrendered to my mind big time. And in just 2 months, man, especially the lower left wisdom tooth, that cavity, I mean, just expanded so much, and I started having so much pain, you know. I didn't want to go to the dentist. I ended up actually going to that dentist afterwards, but I bought some tools and I cracked my wisdom teeth myself open, you know. I cracked it in half, because what he wanted actually is to release the pressure, because when there's a cavity, there's stuff that comes in but doesn't come out. So you have all that stuff that is eating itself, you know. And I was just riding one day feeling so much pain that you cannot even think.
Yeah.
So I just got home, had these little tools, putting in there in my wisdom tooth. I was sweating, I was salivating, I didn't care, and I cracked it open, man. And the
You
day
did it
after,
yourself?
yeah, I had to, because you know, I really value pain. And the day after I went to the dentist just to get a consultation, I put her on a note. I gave her notes like what I want, what I don't want. In the end, I realized she was not really willing to go down the road that I wanted to go, which I just wanted her to just kind of remove the dead part. So I came back home and did it myself, you know.
Wow.
Just, yeah, a bit of pain.
Like the movie Castaway when he's
Yes.
on the island.
So right now the
pair of pliers.
yeah, no, not pliers. Just little pointy things, you know, like pointy things, you know, cracked it open, and now it's cut in half. But it's good actually, and no more pain, no more
It's still
pain, man.
there?
Yeah, still there, still there. It's in half, you know, it's cut in half. I see the root, you know, and I could feel the nerve as well. When I would touch it, I would get like these electrical shocks. I was like, oh, there's a nerve.
Did you did you watch that video? It's like somebody posted, I don't know, maybe a few months ago, about the motions in the teeth?
uh,
That woman from I think it's Denmark or something. She wrote it. She has a website and a book.
yeah, no, I don't remember, but I
She
definitely
used to be a
checked it out.
dentist, and she found, you know, people, she wasn't able to help people. And then she figured it's all done through the emotions. Like the wisdom teeth, the molars are, I think it's the heart.
Yeah, exactly. It's the heart, man. And I was actually keeping especially the feminine side, which was the left one, and the heart, you know. I was so into trading, and there was something I wanted to express deep in my heart, you know, especially to the feminine. And I kept myself on doing that. And yeah, actually I got to do it. And then this happened, that kind of release, which allowed me as well to open up my teeth, my tooth, and allow it to, you know, be open, you know, like, and now it's much better, man. Now I think it's maybe going back. I mean, it is, you know, especially with this lifestyle. And it's been a blessing actually, because it, you know, this pain, you know, makes me feel like, man, be careful with your body. Like if I start eating heavy and not doing what I really want, then I get the pain. And I could have chosen, you know, the path of, yeah, going to the dentist. She wanted to put anesthesia and close it and all that. I was like, no, you know. And I read the other day also a post that is very true. The body never over dramatize too much the pain. It's always the mind, you know, that makes you wanna go crazy. But the body's, man, it's a wonderful machine, man. It's, I mean, just a blessing. Even though I felt a lot of pain during these weeks, I mean, it's just perfect, because also as you go on this lifestyle, you realize your tolerance to pain becomes much greater, and you're also able to go in the observer state much easier. So no, I can't complain, man. I can't complain. You know, it's amazing. It's just amazing. I'm blessed, man. It's, you feel the
You
miracles.
know, do you notice that when you're in a dry state, you can tolerate way more pain
Right.
than when you're eating, because the inflammation gives you the pain. And so you need more obstructive and more pain. When I went, had that one of my fillings crack, was it a couple of years ago? I went to the dentist, and first time in like 30 years, I didn't get any anesthesia. I just filled it up the way it was. Just get into a meditative state. I wasn't dry. No problem.
Right. Yeah.
No problem.
The natural state helps a lot,
Yeah,
right?
you feel it. You feel what's going on, and then they get close to the nerve and stuff.
Whoa.
You just get into that meditative state and right through. So it's not a big problem. Like the anesthesias are nasty, man.
Yeah.
They're
No.
nasty.
Oh,
The only real way to get them out is fasting. Those things can stay in the body for many years. So many people have so many problems from just anesthesia, just simple in the teeth, never mind when they knock you out. That's a whole different story. It's much stronger, because what does that stuff do? It's horrible poison for the nerves.
yeah,
It's like
exactly. It's a
killing me.
neurotoxin in the end, and it
It's just
kills
toxic
the brain.
crap. Yeah, so if you can avoid it,
Yeah,
it's
because
always
it's
better to
tough
have
as
it.
well, right? It's tough. I mean,
Yeah,
not everybody wants to feel the pain.
clove oil will help the pain. So you can go in, if you got to go to the dentist, just bring clove oil with you and just rub
Yeah,
it all
cover.
over the whole area, all over the gums, and then go get the work done. And be in a dry fasted state would be wise, and just meditate through it. So the dentist, are you sure you don't want anesthesia? Go for it.
Wow. That was refilling a cavity, you said?
Yeah, I had one of my old fillings that it cracked, so I had to get it refilled.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any feelings though. I had a cavity when I was a kid that got filled, and I beat something very hard. I thought it was a peanut, but there was a little rock, so it broke my feeling, and
Yeah.
I just let it now, man. Yeah, I have that wisdom tooth that's cracked in half, which is completely open. I have a tooth that had like a little cavity, the filling cracked open, and I just let it be, man. And
The
I'm
body
like, you
will
know what?
adapt.
Yeah, the body will adapt. And I'm like, man, I honestly prefer to feel the pain, man, because I'm so stubborn as well, in my ways with my mind, that you know what, I want to feel that pain, and yeah, actually right now I don't have any pain.
Beautiful.
My teeth are much better. I remember my first MFS, my teeth got black, with the juice. I just had to scratch it with the nails, a little bit. And now my teeth, they get stronger, they get wider. It's just a blessing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't recommend this for anyone, but I like to feel the pain, especially where I'm at, I want self-mastery over my mind, man. And yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine pull out one of my wisdom teeth with just a pair of vice grips.
Oh,
I couldn't really get to do it myself, but get somebody
but
else
it's
pop it
hard,
out.
man. It's like so hard. Tooth, I mean, I was about to, like break it completely and remove it, but it was so damn hard. And now I left it because, the wisdom teeth, they're so hard, man. They're so.
Yeah, just take care of the area, make sure nothing's happening, nothing's being built up. Always feel the area. Sometimes if
Right,
there's dead material, you can have problems, but you still have the nerve because you feel it. So that's a
right,
good
right,
thing.
right. Exactly. And yeah, do the massage. And in the end, you just feel like if there's stagnant lymph in the lower jaw, because that's the issue in the end, especially with my eyes. I was recovering my eyesight quite good. So gave back a bit into the fat, the avocados, and I felt it got worse in a bit, but it's cool, and now I feel it's coming back, bit by bit, especially with this job being outside. And it's also a mind game, reminding ourselves of that gift, being able to see and wanting to see, wanting to see the detail and the beauty of life. And so everything's coming back slowly.
Yeah, I only have, I only was born, I only two wisdom teeth grew in, so I don't have much wisdom. You know, I don't have four, I only had two, only the ones on top.
Yeah, I have the four of them, and the four, they came out like they're screwed. I mean, the other three also, they have little holes. They're in a bad shape, but doesn't matter. I love on them and just try to do the best,
Yeah,
and yeah, you do feel like with this, like if you keep it up, the fasting, like the remunerate, like, I mean, they do remineralize themselves. It's just a matter of time, patience, consistence, all that good stuff we need, patience, consistence, love, and yeah, and more patience.
yeah,
Because there's a lot to clean up, especially in the face, man. Wow, it takes a lot of time, to start to clear the face.
yeah, we've seen, huge differences in what people go through with their teeth, right? And, some people, no problem. And other people have many, many, many challenges with their teeth. So it's
Yeah,
just, it depends what we're built on. And it goes back to the emotion, just,
exactly. I'm built on that. My teeth genetics, they're very, very, they're not good at all, but it's a blessing in the end. Thought it was a curse. Now it's a blessing because it gets me focused. Now I realize, especially after that pain, I was like, wow, pain is actually a blessing if you dare to say it that way, because if you cannot really control your mind, then you have the pain that will force you to actually be disciplined. So good.
pain is the gateway to healing.
Right.
When you're going through true detoxification, you're going to go through pains. You're going to go through physical pains. You're going to go through emotional pains, and you need to embrace them and allow it to flow through you, because this is the way that we heal. The pain is good. Um, you know, in the martial arts that we do, the Haki Jiu-Jitsu is, there's not many people who stick with it because it's painful. The
You still
joint,
do jiu-jitsu?
yeah, the joint locks. It's not the Jiu-Jitsu, it's Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. It's the original Japanese martial arts. It's all the Japanese martial arts come from Aikido Jiu-Jitsu, karate, Aikido. What's the one that you're throwing?
Judo?
Judo, yeah, judo. They all come
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there.
my brother did that. Ninjutsu, taijutsu.
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's all groundwork. It's a sport. It's not the martial art. It's a sport. But yeah, it's very painful when you're doing the techniques. But I just go in with the attitude, this is therapy, and it is. Because once you're in a painful situation, when they let go, the pain goes away. And what does that do? It allows energy, blocked up energy, to open up and flow. It actually is therapy.
Right.
So that's the way I look at it. And most people don't. You see them a few classes, they're gone. They don't come back. But yeah, it's good. It's good experience. Pain is interesting, very interesting. I don't have high pain tolerance when I'm eating. Some people have very high pain tolerance. They can handle a lot of pain, and they can shut off their senses. And most of the reason is their senses are numbed out.
Yeah.
So that's why when you start fasting, things waking up and you get more sensitive. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's a big difference in experience when your senses are awakened.
Yeah, it's funny because you fast, you become more sensitive, you get to feel more as well, you get to more power to sustain more, but you always kind of as well jumping from there to there. Oh, it's this winter, this winter was cold. It rains a lot in the Netherlands, and it's 1 degree, and it gets very cold. And I bought myself a scooter, man, that had that scooter came cursed actually, which is funny because I had to release it and I had the chance to give it to a homeless guy, a 17-year-old guy. I gave it to him for a very cheap price, which felt very nice because I actually had asked God about this. So I got to release it, but I got a scooter. So like doing these deliveries, you don't move with the scooter. You're static, so you're not like moving the blood. And oh man, all the winter, good thing I was like more like into the fasting, in the winter because it would rain. I bought so many gloves, but none of them were waterproof. So I was always cold, man. And I just had to let go and just be there for like 3-4 hours, kind of a bit soaked and just feel the cold. And that's it, like, just feel it and, let it go. You know what? There's always going to be pain. There's always going to be uncomfortable. So just be with it, man. And
I had fun in Italy in winter of 2015. I was riding my bike there. It was a nice experience in the winter time. It's, a lot of rain and it's cold. It was fun. Good experience. Very good.
And actually, also one thing, you always brought back to your breath because a lot of times, I'm in my mind, tripping, I'm tripping in my mind. But then when the cold was too much, I was like, okay, there's no other option. I cannot go back home. I need to make that money. I need to be there. So just breathe, and if you deep breath as well, like, and also prolonged breath, you get to wake up that fire inside and yeah, I'm like, oh wow, I can actually do that. Yeah, you can. So
Fire
thank you,
breath.
Pedro, once again.
Yeah.
Oh, we have someone else. Oh, Barbara.
Yeah.
There we go. We have a little team. Hello, Barbara.
It's interesting, if you blow with your mouth closed, it's cool. If you go, it's warm.
Right.
Why is that? Same from the same body.
Yeah, different tricks. Yeah, I got to be in India and study a bit of yoga and pranayama, all these breathing techniques. And yes, something I don't like, I only do when it's very like kind of very cold and I really want to get in the flow as well and get pumped up, is that that kind of breathing,
Fire
I prefer
breath.
to do it. Yeah, the fire breath. I prefer to have it more conscious, like, but in this case, the fire breath as well. Like if you want to get it fast, yeah, the fire breath like helps.
Yeah, or a dry fasting state.
Mm.
It's much easier to go into the cold water in the dry fasting state than when you're eating.
I think it's cooler when it's a smaller hole because of I don't know if you know Bernoulli's principle, but when a fluid is traveling through a tighter space, it's less pressure, and then when it's an open space, it's more pressure. So it's maybe the more molecules is more heat, and then the less molecules is more cold. But it's just that's the first thing I thought of. But
yeah, definitely.
We have all the knowledge within.
Right.
Yeah, right. Because that you
Emily.
felt that as well, Oliver. That's true. Yeah.
There's the mysteries of creation. We know nothing.
Yeah. It's all theories and they change every year.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Just Victor Schauberger, he was, I don't know if you guys know him, the water wizard from, I think it was from Austria. He learned everything from nature. He has some pretty amazing things he's done with designs and so on and so forth. He was called the water wizard, if you look him up. And
What's his name again?
Victor Schauberger. He built flying saucers and
Look that up.
implosion things. The flying saucer worked on implosion does not destroy. It helps creation where explosion destroys. He learned things by watching fish swim upstream, and how were they able to go, up over, waterfalls and stuff. And he figured it all out just by watching nature. Very interesting. He had
Right.
4 books. I had gotten those books years ago. A friend of mine who passed away, he got them for me. They were very difficult to get. Maybe now it'll be easier at the internet. You'll be able to find them, but I think I may still have those books, or did I give them away? I don't remember. They were very hard to get and very expensive at that time. But yeah, he did some pretty amazing things, vortexing the water. That's why I ended up getting a vortex on my water system here on the house, because as the water goes through the vortex, it cleans itself, just vortexing. No filters, it's just spinning within itself.
Right, it's like this. I don't know if you know about this. There's like little structures, that you can put in your water system that has little structure inside that makes the water spin,
Yeah.
and it just energizes the water. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think there's a brand called Aqua Vitalis, something like that. Yeah,
I
they also
remember
like
the one I have is, I think it was a guy in BC. He made it based on Victor Schauberger's work. I put it in many years ago, maybe 15 years ago at least. So the water that comes into the house is not as good as the water leaving the house, right? The water coming out of the house is better than the water coming.
yeah.
Because they measured the chlorine, which they put here. They actually, well, here they use chloramines, which is chlorine and what's the other thing? The ammonia. It's even worse. But anyway, the chlorine, they measure it, and then they put it through the vortex, and they measure it again. It was like 70% less, just going through the vortex. Where did it go? No filters. Where did it go? Through a sealed pipe. The mysteries of creation.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So maybe even the heart has the same properties as, maybe the liver or something else.
The blood vortexes, the blood flow
Yeah,
vortex.
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Your urine, when you urinate, watch what happens as it comes out the stream. It's a vortex.
Right. Yeah.
Rivers
Do you know,
and
are you
streams.
saying Victor SCH Schauberger?
I
That
think
has
there's a
spelled?
Facebook group.
Yes,
on,
Schauberger.
I don't remember how to spell it. I'm not great at spelling. I'd have to look it up.
Okay.
But if you punch it in on the internet, you'll be able to find it.
Ah,
Put the water wizard.
The
you'll
Water
find it.
Wizard, yeah.
Yeah, Victor
Easy to
Schauberger,
remember.
Water Wizard. You should be able to
Thanks.
find it.
Yeah, I found it. So I write it on the chat, the name.
The Americans destroyed this guy.
Mm.
They stole all his technologies and destroyed him, and he died in, poor and miserable from what they did to him. They used him.
Just like Tesla, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty sad, but a lot of great minds, and they were all connected to nature, or the stars, or the divine.
There's no other way, right? Because that's where all that divine intelligence comes from. It's crazy.
It's
Have to
all
be
the
humble,
answers.
right? Be
So-
open to channel, open to be willing as well to receive, something that will never be yours. That divine intelligence. Yeah. It's
When you're in nature, just pay attention to the most subtle, innocent looking things, and just, focus in on them, especially when you're in a fasting state. You're going to be able to see a lot more. Oh, Marvin, you wrote it down, Schauberger.
yeah.
I think that's how you spell it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
already
chat.
found 2 books.
In the chat. Sorry?
already found 2 books directly. Yeah,
Oh, you
internet is a
did?
blessing, man. I mean, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, The Water Wizard, The Extraordinary Power of Natural Water, and the other one is Living Water as well.
yeah, there's a lot of YouTube videos on him and stuff you can watch. Very
Yeah, no,
fascinating stuff he's done. This goes back many
yeah,
years.
man,
I don't
that's
remember it all,
fascinating.
but
All about. Yeah, you know, we're lucky. I mean,
he was a nature genius, you know, because he studied nature. He was a game warden, I think. So he worked in nature and just studied nature and how he asking the questions and how things worked to himself, and the answers that started coming up. Because it's always about asking the correct questions.
right,
If you
exactly.
don't ask the correct questions, you're not going to get the answers. So same as when we're, you know, fasting and we want to heal and so on, we have to ask the correct questions. These emotions are coming up, and sorry, we need to ask correct questions, and then
Exactly,
the
man.
answers will pop up.
I remember my second Master Fast system, you know, I did 23 days. I think I was on no, that was after the second Master Fast. You know, I was trying to leave the MFS levels. I was trying hard, you know, to leave at least level 3, level 4. And I did on my dry fast day, you know, I broke it, you know, and I went to walk out the dog. I was crying, man. So many emotions in my head, you know, everything. I couldn't shut my mind. I started crying. And then I was like, I was so desperate. It's like, why is this happening to me? And then it was amazing. My mind shut up and the answer was given to me. The answer was, well, you're doing it to yourself too. And just by actually, you know, be willing to ask the question, even to yourself, like being the attitude of trying to get the answer, like really stay humble, like, you know, asking the why, you know, it's sometimes it's tough as well, the why question, because you get to see where you're coming from as well. But oh yeah, that was cool. And yeah, so many experiences as well, you know, every time now, like really have to let the emotions out, express them, whatever you feel, despair, and just cry a good time, you know, cry a good time. Maybe
Yeah.
feel like a victim just for a little while, let yourself give yourself some love, and then you feel as well like, you know what, okay, enough of that, let's do this, let's bring the focus back. But yeah, that have to ask the question, really have to ask the question.
Yeah, Barbara, did you see the spelling? Marvin put it in the chat. Yeah, okay, great. But yeah, you can easily find it. Like they said, there's a lot of videos. I think there's a documentary somebody made about him. If you have time, it'll be worth the watch. Good stuff, very good stuff. There's so many great men from the past. Walter Russell is another one, genius, who I think he died and he came back. And he got so much information when he was dead for, I don't know how long he was dead, but you know, minutes or days or hours or something, I can't remember. You can look him up too, Walter Russell. He was an artist, engineer. He did so many things, and you never hear about this guy. You know, it's amazing things Walter Russell did. About plasma, he was already there, you know, sharing that information way back. He used different names and so on and so forth, but it's all the same basic principles. How energies work and how they flow and so on and so forth, and magnetism and electricity and so on and so forth. It's Walter Russell, another guy. You know, we have Nikola Tesla, we have so many great minds from the past. Arnold Ehret, right?
Right, yeah.
So many wonderful souls, all the prophets who were directly connected with the divine. You know, the divine communicated directly with them, and they revealed.
Yeah, but and you see, you know, the greatest minds, you know, they believe in something. yeah, the greatest minds, they always believe in something greater. I mean, it's inevitable. Like once you have that intelligence awakening you just look at the design of the universe and everything. You just stay in awe, and you get to love because there's humor in everything. In every situation. That's awesome too. But you just get to love and be in awe of just everything. Like there's no coincidence. There's just pure synchronicities and just the timing of everything. It's just amazing, man. Wow, just yeah, there's no words. Do you also know Masaru Emoto? You know that the Japanese guy who
Water.
yeah, I mean that's amazing. Yeah, for me, I'm all about that love and gratitude because that's the most beautiful crystal, but as well, like really what really hit me, because there's something that in my family, many also probably other families do, is the fact that, when you get mad with someone, you want to ignore his presence, like you want to be mad. I'm not going to talk to you. And then I saw his work to remind myself not to ever do that, like ignoring presence, because he did that. He did the things, where you say words to water and how it behaves and how it structures itself when you freeze it. And when he put a glass of water that he was consciously ignoring, he would give the same structure as if you were insulting the water or saying a bad word. So you cannot even ignore someone. Like you have to acknowledge. Doesn't mean that you have to give energy and interact with it, but just consciously acknowledge it, that it's there, right?
Yeah, there's the race
And that
experiment.
is powerful.
The race experiment that people do I think he's the one who came up with it. You put 3 jars of cooked rice. One you write, I love you.
Yeah.
The other one, I hate you. And the other one you ignore. And then you watch what happens over a month.
Yeah.
There's many people who have done it.
Right. Also in the plant in school, 2 plants, they ask the children to give love to one, and yeah, they just saw. That's amazing. Yeah, that's
So everything is energy. Everything is energy. Emotions. Intent and emotion is where everything comes from, as far as I understand.
yeah. And specifically in this lifestyle, like coming back to MFS, how to make Masterfast system effortless is really, because a lot of times you cannot choose your own thoughts, especially when you have a lot of stuff coming out. You have really like despicable thoughts that might come out, but in the end, the attitude is, what are you choosing to entertain? What kind of stories are you choosing to entertain? And that is a powerful question to always ponder on. Really observe ourselves. What kind of thoughts am I entertaining that will lead either to me having really an easy time fasting or be drawn to consumption, right? Of any kind of sort, right? And that's amazing. Really, that's, yeah.
Life is beautiful.
Yeah, life is truly beautiful.
Oliver,
Yeah.
what's been happening with you?
Oh, just being around family. My dad and sister going through a lot of changes, so they're moving. My sister's moving out. My dad's, making a decision to, most likely just end the business and sell the building and move on and see, just streamline, and just enjoy life.
Yeah,
Whatever the next step. Yeah.
sure.
So I'm just helping out wherever I can. I'm thinking like maybe a 1, 2, 3 month time frame, just, be here, help out, and then, figure out what I want to do next and just brainstorming ideas. So it's, yeah, it's cool. The greenery here is, it's a similar pigment as Hawaii, but it's, for some reason, it just seems so much more, I don't know how to describe it, but it's cool. It's like a more so different energy than physical color or anything, but it's nice. It's cool to be back because it's, all the memories of childhood and growing up, it's all here. So
Is that where you grew up?
well, I grew up in the area, Where I grew up is maybe 15, 20 minutes away, but it's close enough that where it's not crazy different. It's more or less the same. So yeah, this building actually, my father's eyeglass store is probably the only thing that is still here from growing up. Like all the other homes and buildings, like they're all sold, all done with, but this is the only thing that's it's got pictures of the childhood, like the stores have pictures of the kids and stuff like that's here. And actually I'll show you this if you want to see it. It's the kidney tea. I didn't have the rest of that, I don't think, but this like heats up the plastic to the glasses to bend it so it stays like perfectly hot in there. So, and that's always on. It was maybe 5 years ago. I said, Dad, what if I turn this off? He says, well, we haven't turned it off for like 20, 30 years. And then the next day, his worker that was well, I'll call him Bob, but he's I don't even call him a worker, it's Bob, he's been here forever, but he's going through it and trying to bend it, and it took him like maybe a half hour to figure out it wasn't turned on, like it wasn't hot. But yeah, it's cool, little plastic beads. Growing up, I'd like collect them off the floor and put them back in. It's like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, a lot of good memories here. But yeah.
Florida?
What's that?
Oh, I wondered where in the world you are.
Oh, this is in New Jersey. But I used to have a lot of family in Florida, actually.
Mhm.
I've been going down there my whole life. So yeah.
And that's
New
awesome.
Jersey,
Yeah.
New Jersey was called the Garden State. They said when
Right.
in the United States, it was first
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty congested, but
Mhm.
it's still nature. You still get trees, still fresh air, still, movement. So, but in the past I'd come back here and I'd be kind of frustrated or just not feeling well, but coming back this time I kind of, grown out of that and just, be where I am and appreciate where I am. That's where I chose to, be and grow up, and it's it has its beauty.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Coming back, we always have to come back to what was not put in love, whatever we didn't put love in our life, we always have to come back to that, and that's amazing, man. And bless you for doing that, and bless you for helping your father as well. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely, if I don't do, I'll feel so bad later. Like, oh, geez, I didn't do anything. I helped out when and I had my own business or whatever. I'm like, geez, this is kind of not what he was, But earlier I was thinking too, when you first start out, it's kind of like, if you guys know woodworking and sandpaper, you got to start with the rough stuff. It's really rough and a little crazy, and then next time it's a little smoother. But if you start with the really smooth, you don't get much done. You kind of got to go in order and let it unfold the way the nature will do it on autopilot, and the inner mechanism kind of wake that up and just go through the progression of metamorphosis. And sometimes some steps backwards, some steps forward, but you don't want to like jump backward or jump all the way forward like fast. You don't want to like, because you'll break the piece of wood. Like you can just experiment with the different grits.
Order of operations to do it properly, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But for sure, you said how to keep that, just enough intensity and just be consistent, right?
Not finding the balance.
Yeah, Oliver was up here. What year were you here? You came up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. That was 2018 end of summer, beginning of fall, I think.
18,
It's like
wow.
starting to get chilly.
Time flies. 4
Yeah,
years.
yeah, seriously. Yes, nuts. That was awesome. Kidney tea, I don't know if I told you, the kidney tea you make was, I would have that over any soup or any broth or any like the, I'm like, geez, I gotta look into the 432 fork and all the other things, more herbs and water and all that, man. That was just, salt can't create that flavor. That was just the such concentrated information from the herbs. It's nothing else, it's just straight up.
We like it strong.
Yeah. Yeah. I collected a bunch of herbs the other day. I'm drying them up and see if I could
Awesome.
slowly work my way towards that.
The divine
idea.
wine. Anybody make the divine wine?
Oh yeah, I got a half gallon. And all the tinctures from last year. I'm been, especially tonight, because last night was a big lump in my throat. I was like waking up, just all this mucus coming out, and felt so good because I got one chunk out, and then another one was right behind it. And I was just like, oh yeah, get it out. And then I was starting to feel like a little less. It was a lot better today. And then I took the MFS tinctures, but I also took those and just loaded up. It was so soothing to the throat going down. And sometimes when I flex, a bump comes out here, but especially in Hawaii doing the yoga and the smaller fast has been softening up and getting better. So
It's lymph node, probably.
what's that?
Probably a lymph node.
Yeah, for sure. It's it's green. It has a greenish hue. So I'm like, yeah, it's lymph node. But yeah, it's cool because I could start to see the rest of the vein, and then it starts to get smaller because it's draining through it's doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, sometimes I focus too much on the physical instead of just anyway.
All right, folks, let's call it a night. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining.
Yeah, thank you guys for your presence, honestly.
Thank
Oh,
you.
hi, Jeanette.
Thanks.
Jeanette has been there.
Mm.
Nice to see everybody. Thank you so much. Let's keep the
Yeah.
inspirations going. Just live it, love it.
Exactly. Focus on your heart as always, guys. And yeah, stay blessed and blissful. Much love, much gratitude to all of you. You inspire me all to keep on living and loving it. And you give me a good reason to wake up,
Yeah.
Love it.
Everything's possible when we live it and love it. Everything's possible. So just make it happen. Make it happen and watch the magic unfold.
Mm.
All right. Good night.
Night.
Whatever you
Good night.
all.
Bless you all.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.